thanks for joining me. So we're on with tutorial 2 for my Easy Folios 3 project, which is this project. I will leave all of the videos in a playlist. I'll leave a link to the playlist in the description below. It's called Easy Folios Online Classes. So we're doing the shaker and the slider component today. So according to your cutting guide, you've got shaker piece B and shaker piece A. So yeah, so on shaker piece B, you've got your score lines at 2 sides and at the bottom. So what you want to do before you do anything else is turn that piece over. So your bumper, you're on the back because there's your bumps from your score lines. And you want to draw a line at 1 inch in from each side and 1 inch from the bottom. And then from the top, which has no scoring, you draw a line at 1/2 inch. That then gives you a frame inside there, which is going to be 1/2 inch all the way around, because these flaps here are going to turn in. Okay, so 1 inch each side, left and right, 1 inch from the bottom, 1/2 inch from the top. Then you want to get a sharp blade, a cutting mat and a non-slip ruler, and just cut that frame out. Okay, so I've finished cutting out my frame. So still working on the back side of this, you want to get your acetate piece. Okay, I've given you the size. Have I given you the size? I've given you the size in the cutting guide. And at this stage, if you've got red line tape, use red line tape. Let me just check what size of red line tape I need to use, because I don't want it showing. Yeah, this one's fine. This one's 1/4 inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move that out of the way. I'm going to add the red line tape, which is either 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch, because you've got a 1/2 inch increment all the way around and you don't want this tape showing. Okay. If you don't have red line tape, use normal. You can use glue. I don't like to use glue on acetate because I can't trust myself not to get it all over the place. But if you're confident and you've done it before, it's fine. Okay. All the way around. Okay. Super simple, basic shaker. But if you haven't done one before, then this is how you do it. Okay, so then I always go in with a bone folder. Well, this is not bone, it's Teflon. To make sure that that tape is really firmly down. It helps you when you are lifting the backing off. Okay. Remove just the bottom. Okay. Bring your frame in. You're on the back with the bumpy side. And then I line the top bit up that still has the tape attached to it. Okay. And I centralise that. And I make sure that when that's down, I'm not going to see any of that tape. And by leaving the red backing on, I can clearly see where that tape is. Okay. So that's going to be fine there. Okay. And then I will go in and remove the rest of the tape. Confident that I've gotten it straight because it's adhered down at the bottom. Okay. And then I can go in with my Teflon bone folder and give that a really good press. You can almost see when the tape is adhered to the acetate fully, because you'll see it kind of like change colour almost. You'll know what I mean as you're doing it. And that's just making sure that's firmly down so that nothing that we put in escapes. Then at this point, you can attach this to your A piece. Okay, you can, if you like, I've got finger marks on mine, you can, if you like, go in with a dryer sheet or a dust buddy, which is, I've got one of these, that you use for when you're embossing. That will reduce the static on the acetate and stop your shakers splitting. I don't like to use it myself because I find it leaves a residue and sometimes it can scratch the acetate. So I'm trying not to worry too much if the shakers stick a little bit. All right. So then you would fold all of your score lines and give them a really good burnish. Mitre your 2 bottom corners. Okay. And then at this point, if you find no, you don't want to be putting your paper on yet because you want it to go over these flaps. Ignore me. So now you want to attach this to your earpiece. It just literally goes straight over the top and lines up side to side and top to bottom. Okay. I'll start with one corner and get that down right. And then work your way across. Mine's not lined up perfectly. There we go. All right, and there you've got your like shaker pocket, I suppose. Okay, if you've got any discrepancy in sizing, I've got a small discrepancy in sizing there, so I would trim that off so that it doesn't show, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. So then you want to line the inside of there with patterned paper going over these flaps that you've joined. Okay, and make sure that it's really glued down really well and that it's dry. Then when you do that, after you've done that, you can add your shaker elements. Okay, have I got any to hand? So I just use these, which are resin decoration. So the tiny sequins that are meant for resin art or nail art or something, but you can use anything. You can use glitter, you can use larger sequins, anything. Don't put too many in or else it will be too bulky, okay? So if I just quickly bring mine in, you can see that this small, I've lined it with paper. And then what I do is I seal the top. So I'll add my paper, add my elements, and then I put some more red line tape along the top, remove it, and that pocket is now sealed. Okay, decorate it as you desire. Now when we're adding the magnets, I have added, how many have I added? 2. I've added 2 to the bottom corner and 1 to the top. So I've added them in like a triangle. Okay, so I showed you on the previous video how I attach my magnets. If you've not seen it, go back. So then on here I've got a corresponding magnet there before I've laid my paper, and I've got one here and one here. So you want to put your magnets on here. I'd almost like layer that down and add some pencil marks of where you want placement. Just think about it, but we've got them in like a triangle of 3. That way it's nice and firm. Okay, but these do kind of need to line up, so do it how I showed you, where you put one magnet there, add the dab of glue, then put that on over the top to show you where to place it. Okay, if you don't have magnets, what you can do with your shaker is you can just glue it to the flap here. You can just glue it, okay? And you could just have it like that with some, with maybe 1 magnet there instead of having 3. Or with some Velcro, you know, like Velcro closure. So you could just glue that straight on if you so desire. You can either even glue it straight on, and I've shown you how to do the closures with a half circle. So you could do a half circle closure there, and then just wrap it around, or do a half circle closure there, and then tie it with string. Okay, or glue this further up and do your half closure on there and your half closure on there. You'll see how to do those on my 8 ways to use scrappy circles video. I'll show you how to make them, and I've done them in lots of tutorials. So that's an alternative way. So we're going to get on with the slider now, which is this element here, in case you haven't watched the other tutorial yet. That is this element here, where when you pull it, the 2 photo mats extend. We'll show you how to make that. Okay, so Let me just tidy my desk so that I can see what I'm doing. Just give me one moment. So if you look at the cutting guide, I've given you the measurements and scores for this. Now we're making it in 2 pieces, and the reason we're making it in 2 pieces is because it's larger than a standard card size, because I want 2 photo mats in it. So to be able to get it to fit, I've had to do it in 2 pieces, because otherwise it would be larger than 12 by 12. So I'm just bringing in my pieces. So we've got piece A, piece B, and then I should have 2 of these. Yes, I have. And then the 2 photo mats. So I'm going to just bob those to one side. So piece A, when you've scored it, you will know that when you fold it in half, you've got one piece that's slightly shorter than the other. Now this is very important, a very important step to take note of. So you've got your piece A, you've scored it. When you fold it, you will see that one piece is ever so slightly shorter. Okay, so that piece needs to be at the left. So I literally just get a pencil and I'm going to put X marks the spot to remind me. Then you're going to get your B piece. You've got the 2 score lines. According to the cutting guide, you want to fold and burnish those. And then we're going to join these 2 pieces together. Okay. So I'm just going to mitre. I'm not. I'm going to add my tape first. Am I going to add my tape first? Yes, I'm going to add my tape first. Let me just grab my tape. And I'm using skinny tape. Skinny tape. I'll use this one, because this one's slightly wider. So on this B piece, you want a piece of tape to the left-hand side on the bumpy side, okay? Or glue. Because that is going to tuck around the back there, okay? And glue on there. Now this piece here, this is going to close, and that is going to close like that. And this piece here, this flap here, is going to attach onto the top of there, like that. So on this one, your tape wants to be not on the same side. You fold it in and put your tape on there. Right, let me just snip that because I've got some overhang. You don't want any overhang on your tape. And then what you want to do is just gently mitre both of those flaps so that they don't protrude and they don't get in the way or catch on anything. Okay, so we've got gentle mitring. So we've got tape on that side on the left, and on the right it's on the top of the flap when it's folded in. Okay, so now you can join these 2 pieces together. Let me just check my sample and make sure I've got it right. Yeah. Okay, checking that I'm in shot. And you line these 2 up best you can. I'm really struggling to get things straight at the moment, so please bear with me. I'm ever so sorry. What a great teacher. I can't even get them straight. That's not straight. It's not straight. There we go. That's better. Do your best to get them lined up. If you use glue, it's easier. Okay. I've already done my final one. This is just to show you. So then this one here, which is the shorter one, we've put the X on. This is going to have your slider mechanism on. So what I've used is I have used the classic label punch, okay, which cuts me a wedge out, and I've just literally centralized it, okay, and I've gone halfway down my punch and I've just punched it out. It just takes a notch out. I'm going to explain how you can do it if you don't have one of these punches, so please don't worry. Okay, so I've got this, can you see? So it's just given me a bit of a inward kind of increment there. Now, if you don't have this punch or anything similar, all you need to do is measure this. It's 4. Come into 1 inches, make a mark. Come in from the score line here at 4, in at 1 inches to 3, make a mark. Do the same at the bottom. Then measure in at approximately 1/4 of an inch. Okay, approximately 1/4 of an inch. Same here, approximately 1/4 of an inch. Join the lines, cut it out with scissors. Okay, so 1 inch in from the outside edge, 1 inch in from the scored edge, 1/4 inch down, make a cut. Do the same at the bottom. Okay, perfect. So the slider mechanism, now you can use whatever you've got. I'm using one of these plastic wallets. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to cut a strip of plastic that's going to wrap around where we've done this with the increment. Now, if you're using a plastic wallet, just bear in mind to not use any of the things that have got seams on. Okay, because I did on my original one, and if you use any of the seamed edges, it can stick. Oh, it can stick. So what I do is, and it does not terribly matter if this is not perfectly straight. So I literally just go with my scissors. I'm just going to trim all of this seam off up here. Okay, just cut it away. You can use one of these. You can use a cello bag that you put your cards in. You can use a shopping bag. You can use anything. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to cut yourself a strip that is not any wider than this here. Okay, so if you've cut it by hand, it doesn't want to be, your strip doesn't want to be any wider than 2 inches. Okay, so what I do to make my life a little bit easier is I kind of fold it in half and then in quarters. Now it's a bit slippery, so one tip is to just grab one of these little bulldog clips. Okay, and I'm actually just going to do it just folded in half and try and manage. This can be tricky, especially if you're using a very slippery surface. Okay, so I'm just going to put it there, and I'm going to literally, I will mark it with a pen. I'll do it the professional way. When I'm doing it myself, I just do it by eye. So I'm just going to make a mark at the maximum that I want that. You want it to have some wiggle room, okay, just a little bit. And then literally all you have to do is just cut it out. Cut yourself a strip. Okay, there we go. Keep hold of your clippies because they're going to come in handy for the next part to just make your life easier so you're not all fingers and thumbs. Then you've got your long strip of plastic. You want to wrap it around where you've got your increment here, and yeah, just gently pull it up and down without adhering it. Just gently pull it up and down to make sure that it's not too big for the slot. Okay, and then you want to literally just stick one onto the other. Okay, I'm just going to trim mine down ever so slightly. Okay, now for this I do recommend red line tape. I do, because it's just a bit stronger. So what you want to do is find the end of one, put your red line tape on, edge to edge, snip it, make sure you don't have any tape overhang. You do not want sticky edges. If you've got any sticky edges, okay, make sure you cut it off. Otherwise it'll stick to the back of there and you really don't want that. Okay, so now I'm going to remove the tape backing. Now this can be tricky because obviously it's a plasticky surface. It's not ideal. But if you hold it taut and then go in with your pokey tool, you should be able to get that backing off fairly easy. Okay, so this is the tricky bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this top bit up, and I'm pulling it quite tight to start with. Okay, and then once I think they're kind of lined up without committing, I'm just going to release my grip ever so slightly, because you want it tight but not so tight that it doesn't move. okay? And what you want to do is just check that it will move all the way around freely, okay? If you just do that with your fingers, does it move all the way around freely, which mine does, okay? Now I've got some excess here, so I'm going to trim that off, okay? And I'm going to put that bit in the middle. Right, so the next bit you do need to concentrate, otherwise you'll have it all back to front. So the easiest way to do this, that's going to go like that, and that is going to go, and that's going to fold in like so. Okay, and that is going to be what your slider looks like when it's closed. So if you peek in there, you'll see you've got a little sandwich and you've got a slider in the middle with your plastic. So you want to get the two photo mats. You want to put one in one side, okay, in the top, well, let's say the top, one in the top to the left-hand side of the slider, okay, to the left-hand side, okay. And then you turn it around and put the other one in at the left-hand side as well. Let me just check I've got that right. So basically you want one at one side and one at the other coming out, and they both are gonna, yeah, so at one side in to the left of the slider, then when you turn it the other way, you're putting the other one in left of the slider as well. So the both of those are on opposite ends of the slider. If I open it and show you, okay, so then you've got one on that side of the slider and one on that side of the slider, okay. Put it flat on the deck like so. Okay, then start with this one. Just leave that there to remind you where it's going. Okay, so this you want to line up with the top of the opening, and you want to centralize it. I've measured it in a way where this is just ever so slightly smaller. Okay, in fact, if anything, you want to go closer to the, no, you just want to centralize it and close to the top. Okay, and then press firmly, and you want to grab a pen. I'm using a Sharpie because you can, it will write on plastic, make a line, okay. Then what you want to do is clip the plastic so it doesn't move, okay. So whilst you're still firmly holding it all, clip the plastic there so that it doesn't move. Okay, now you can move your card, and then you want to go in with some more red line tape, and round about where you've put that black line, you want to put some tape just above it, edge to edge. Okay, don't worry if it's not perfectly straight, it's tricky working with plastic, it doesn't matter. And trim it, making sure again that you are not protruding past the edge of the plastic, or it will stick to your card at the back. Okay, this clip will save it all from moving. It's you know, if you don't have one of these, use a paper clip. Remove your tape carefully, okay, nothing should have moved. Replace your card at the top end, making sure you've got a slight gap either side. It will be like a hair's width I've given you, okay, and then you attach that to there. Now you can remove your clip, okay, and just keep hold of it and turn the whole thing over. So you've got that coming at that side, and this is going to come at this side, and you repeat the process. So I'm going to clip the plastic at this side now. I'm going to line up my photo mat with the top edge of the opening, making sure it's central. I'm going to make myself a line with my Sharpie. I can move that out of the way. Add some tape. Edge to edge, not protruding, else it'll stick to your card. And try and put your tape down gently. Don't pull it tight. Otherwise you'll pucker all of this. I mean, it might pucker anyway, but if you can reduce the puckering by not pulling your tape tight like that when you're sticking it down. Pat it down with your hands, okay? remove the tape. This shouldn't have moved, okay, because you've got your clip on. Again, lining up with the top, centralising it so we've got a little tiny gap either side, and attach. Now you can remove your clips, and you've got one stuck to one side and one stuck to the other, and they should go like that. So this one should be stuck here and this one should be stuck, so they're stuck at opposite ends. Do you see? Okay. If you don't have that, like when you do that like a Z, then you've done it wrong. Go back and have another look. You can always pause the video and follow it step by step carefully. Right, so now all of this can fold like that. Okay, that is that bit done. Where's my bone folder gone? Here we go. And I'm going to recrease that fold. Now this section here is going to attach onto here. So you're going to need to just lift this. Let me show you. So it wraps around, and it's going to, you make sure this photo mat's tucked in. Okay. Tuck the flap in, and it's going to attach to there. So I'll show you one more time. So you've got all of your elements here. Just fold it to the middle. Okay. Where you've got this photo mat here, it will lift up. This folds over, and this flap, tuck the photo mat under it and glue that to the other side of the base. Okay. Give it a good crease. If you've made slider cards before, you know, then it's only the same process. I've just resized it to suit our folio. So that's tucking in there, and that's going to line up as straight as I can get it on there. Then I'm going to recrease it all. There's a lot of bulk there, but don't worry about it. Okay, then you should be able to just go in with your little sausage fingers. Well, my little sausage fingers, okay, and grab those, and they will pull at the same time, okay, in and out, okay. Now there we go. Sometimes you've got to play with it. It can be a little bit, mine's probably done it a little bit tight, but it does work, and it works a lot better once you've layered your paper on it and added some tabs, and it's down flat on the project. It will work, and the more you play with it, the better it will work. Okay, but that is how you do it. And you've got your double slider, and then that will attach if you bring your project back in. Once you've lined it all with your paper, you'll line this with paper, then you want to glue the back of this onto there, centralized. Add your little, you'll still be able to get your fingers in to add your little tabs, and then when you've added your tabs, you can pull it in and out like so. Okay, and that's how you do it. So I hope that you can follow that easily, and you can make your slider and your shaker successfully. I think I've explained it the best that I can. So good luck. If there's any questions or anybody gets stuck, feel free to leave a comment, and I will always help you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.